Hey guys, welcome back to my weekly NFL predictions. So, I'm gonna tell you guys everything that happened last week. You'll find out. So yeah, we know about the Jets and the Bills. Saints beat the Giants 13-6. No, the Giants beat the Saints 16-13. I thought the Saints were gonna win last week, but they didn't. So then I put them. So then I thought they would lose this game as well. If you can't beat the Raiders at home, you're clearly not going to go to the Giants and win. So, yep. Even though the Raiders are good, I'm still going to say that the Giants are good, are better than the Raiders are away. Personally, they're not that good away. So, the Cowboys got a slide away victory, which I thought the Redskins would win just because they had one bad game against Pittsburgh. Doesn't mean they're going to have a horrible game against doesn't mean they're going to have the shittiest game against the Cowboys. And they didn't. Surprisingly, they did better against the Cowboys than against Pittsburgh. Actually, not much of a surprise. They don't have Tony Romo, but they do have a good enough quarterback to win a few games. Dolphins at Patriots. I had Patriots winning this. I didn't think they'd win. I didn't think they'd be up 31-3 at any point in the game, but they were. But then the Dolphins came back. It was clear they weren't going to win based off of where they're playing, and it's really hard to win in New England. So if you win there, kudos. But other than that, you're not really going to win. So what's the record? Let's see, 1-1, 2-1-2. 2-2, 3-2. Yeah, the Steelers beat the Bengals. That was pretty epic how they did. Kept it low scoring most of the game and ended up winning 24-16 in the end. 3-2. 4-2, the Panthers were able to beat the 49ers. Panthers were able to beat the 49ers by a score of 46-27, which they were actually losing at certain points in the game. It went back and forth who took the lead. When San Francisco led, they led by like 3 points. And when the Panthers led, they led by 4. And then at one point, it just starts juggling up. And at one point, they were down 10-31. The 49ers were. They came right back up to 27. Now look, I think it was about like 24-31, and then the Panthers just go insane here. So the final score is 41-27. It was clear as day that the 49ers were not going to beat the Panthers. I mean, like, there was a chance, but we all could have predicted the Panthers to win at home, especially knowing how bad the 49ers were last year. Then the Ravens beat the Browns, which they were actually down 20-2 at one point in that game. Got a safety, and then from there they start to come back. But however, some upset games here. Tennessee is able to beat Detroit by 1 point. So I had Detroit winning that game. They probably should have, knowing the fact that they went to Indianapolis last week and won. I wonder how much of a home and away team they'll be this year. Last year they were pretty good at home, but ended up losing by a few points. I remember against Green Bay last year in both games, they had the potential to beat them twice, but they only beat them once because, of course, Aaron Rodgers was able to get that Hail Mary into the end zone. If he wasn't, then yeah, the Lions would have beat the Packers twice. But honestly, Lions are not going to be my favorite team. My favorite team in the NFC North will be the Packers this year by maybe a game, no more than a game. So I'm 5-3, and this is the final afternoon game. Houston beats Kansas City, which was kind of a shocker because Kansas City whooped their ass in the playoffs, 30-0. But Brock Osweiler wanted some revenge, so there it is, cold hard revenge. So I was 5-4 on the afternoon games. I mean the early games. The later games, I was 3-5. No, 3-2. there were 5, but I got 3 out of 5 correct. So yeah, the Seahawks lost to the Rams, which was the most upsetting out of all of them, I think, that I got right. No touchdowns in this game, just field goals. And the week before, they only got that 1 touchdown in order to win the game. So it's either the Seahawks are not that good this year, or they just play 2 teams that actually aren't too bad or improved from the previous year. This being a 1-1 LA team, that's pretty good. And then 1-1 Seahawks. I had the Seahawks with that record since I first did the predictions. I had the Rams winning at least 1 time, and that was at home, and I have the Seahawks record right. I got the Buccaneers record right. I knew they would beat the Falcons since day 1 as well, and then lose to the Cardinals the next game. However, I thought the Cardinals at this point would be 2-0, but they didn't beat New England the previous week. So yeah, the Cardinals aren't bad. It's just that Garoppolo seems to work a lot better with the guys than Tom. He might even be better than Tom Brady. Garoppolo could be. Personally, I wouldn't doubt it. So I picked against the Texans and I was wrong. Damn it. Clear as day. A lot of people said the Jaguars will win, but if you didn't know, from looking at the Chargers play the previous week, they almost fucking destroyed Kansas City. And the only reason why Kansas City came back is because they have a pretty good offense. Admit it. Come on. Now, their defense is total shit, but come on. They can't be that bad against... If the Chargers are up 27-10 at all against any team that's in their division, actually that would probably mean that they're really good. Even though they allowed a comeback, they were in Kansas City. Come on, do you expect them to hold on to a lead when the people in that stadium are against them? So I actually saw some potential in the Chargers this year. I think they might even be the 3rd seed in the AFC this year. So one huge shocker here to everyone is Falcons beat the Raiders. How the fuck is this possible? You know, it's just like unpredictable. Anybody who got that game right is insane. And anybody who got this next game right is insane too. So how is Denver able to beat Indianapolis without Peyton Manning? Like Peyton Manning has never beat the Colts 1 time since he moved to Denver for his last 4 seasons. I believe it was 4. So Peyton Manning is either 0-4 or 0-5 against the Colts. He hasn't beaten them as a Bronco. But however, Trevor Seaman is able to win. How the fuck? So one that didn't surprise me too much, a close game between the Vikings and the Packers. I thought the Vikings would win. In the end, they did. But yet they had the shittiest quarterback, Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford was able to beat the Patriots last year in New England, so I believe you should shut the fuck up. And then the Eagles, who did beat the Patriots, also won in Chicago, making them 0-2. Philadelphia 2-0. And next week they will be heading to Pittsburgh, which we will now move on to our Week 3 predictions. So my current rank, I dropped by another, fucking 5,000 because I suck? Was I at like 30? I was at like 30,000. I bet there were a lot of people that got some wrong, and I was 10-6. I did worse than I did the week before. I got 11-5 in week 1, yet I went all the way down to 30,000. So actually, now that I think about it, I rise by about 15,000, a little over that, 16,000. So I'm guessing I might be a little gutsy here, but this first 2 games aren't very gutsy though. So the Texans and at the Patriots. Patriots are clearly going to win. If they don't, I don't see how they're going to be a good team. I get the Texans are a good team. They have a chance. I know the Texans are going to have a chance. But I don't think the Texans will absolutely fucking destroy them, though. Like, it'll have to be a late game win. Browns at Dolphins. You fucking stupid if you don't say the Dolphins. Even though they're tied with the Browns record with no wins. The Dolphins actually had a pretty tough 2 games. For 2 weeks in a row, they played the Super Bowl contenders. They played the contenders of Super Bowl 49, both. They played the Seahawks and the Patriots, which they played each other in Super Bowl 49, and they lost to both. Now, the Dolphins actually came close to beating both of those teams. That Super Bowl was 2 years ago. The teams could have possibly weakened. Then you got the Raiders at the Titans, and that's a tough one. The Titans were able to go to the Raiders in the preseason and win, which most of these teams aren't even trying. And if the Titans were, then I guess I give the Raiders a win. I'll give the Raiders a few points win because they're in the Titans, and the Titans have improved quite a bit. So let's just say I don't think the Titans are going to win, but I think they'll come close. They could win. The chances of them winning are better than probably even the Dolphins winning against the Browns and the Texans beating the Patriots. And then the Ravens at the Jaguars. Now, you guys are probably surprised, but I'm choosing the upset over the Ravens. Now, I'm probably going to be wrong about this, but if I do remember, the Jaguars were able to go to Baltimore when they sucked and won, which is something that our current number 1 team in the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers, couldn't do last year. They couldn't beat them one time. They seem to lose to a team, especially when they suck. They always lose to the teams that suck. And that's where a lot of their upsets come from. The teams that went from good to bad, those are the teams that they normally lose to. Like, they'll lose to teams that did good before, but they did beat the Chargers last year, but that was lucky. The Redskins at Giants. Redskins suck ass. Giants, they're good at home. Giants are gonna win. I don't know if they actually got their. Yeah, their first game was away, so I was about to say, are they getting 3 straight home games? No, they're not. So, Cardinals at the Bills. Now, I would say the Bills, but the Bills have not shown me anything yet. I would think they are 1-1 by now, but they are only 0-2, so they suck. And the Cardinals just whooped Buccaneers' ass. So, the Buccaneers were really good the previous week against the Falcons. Even beat a team that beat the Raiders. I even have the Buccaneers beating the Raiders. I had that before the Falcons even beat them. So, the Falcons can beat the Raiders. They should be able to at home. The Buccaneers should. I'm just going with the Cardinals. Fuck it. I mean, it's not that hard of a decision, but okay. They're currently 0-1 against the AFC East, so they want to make it 1-1. Vikings at Panthers. I'm going to choose the Panthers because the Vikings don't have very many good players. And the Panthers' first loss was a fluke. The second one, if they lost last week, that would have been a fluke too. So, yeah. So, Panthers over Vikings. Broncos at Bengals. No, I didn't expect the Broncos to be 2-0. I thought they'd be 1-1 right now, and they'd start out with the losing record. I didn't have Cincinnati 1-1. I had them 0-2. The Broncos 1-1, but I still think the Bengals are winning anyway, even though their record is worse than the Broncos. They're beating the Broncos at home. Like I know they can't beat the Steelers at home worth of shit, but I know they can beat the Broncos. There's only been one time since I've actually watched football and started enjoying it. There's only been one time I've seen the Bengals win at home against the Steelers. That was back when they sucked. So, yeah. Lions at Packers. The Packers are not going to do what they did last year. I think they're going to win at home against the Lions. And then it's going to be the other way around. Instead of the Lions going to the Packers and winning there, Packers winning at Lions with that huge Hail Mary thrown by Aaron Rodgers. Thing was about Aaron Rodgers, he threw both of those inside. He threw both of those Hail Marys inside. Both against the Cardinals and the Lions. They were both inside. So that's a reason why. But Packers get away with a win. Packers lose the second time. Reverse. So Rams and Buccaneers, I'm not completely sure. Buccaneers are good. Rams are too. But I'm giving the Buccaneers a home win since the Rams were able to win at home against them last year. Buccaneers get revenge and win the game. 49ers have done quite a bit of improvement. I would have expected them to be 0-2, but 1-1's okay too. I thought more of the Rams than the 49ers, but the 49ers have made improvements. The Seahawks have been struggling a little bit, so I don't know. I don't think the 49ers will win there, but if they do beat the Seahawks at all, it'll be a fluke win at home. I don't know if I can even consider it a fluke anymore with how good they did again. I'm surprised how good they're doing. I wonder, why. Blaine Gabbert's an average quarterback. Colin Kaepernick used to be better than him, but I didn't even know who Blaine Gabbert was until he started last year. Blaine Gabbert's just a piece of garbage, but yet they're still doing somewhat good. 1-1 already. Then you got the Jets at the Chiefs, which the Jets and the Chiefs both had fluke losses against two teams that were, I'd say, average. I'd say the Bengals are average, and I'd say the Texans are average. So I'm going to have to go with the home team. Kansas City really needs this win. They lost to a team they really shouldn't have last week. They can beat them 30-0 in the playoffs and beat them. If they can beat them away twice, they should be able to do it a third time. Third time's a charm for the Chiefs. So I don't know why that happened. But anyway, I'm giving the Chiefs a win over the Jets. That's a somewhat hard game, but it's at home. I don't know who to give the win to. The Colts have been sucking pretty badly. I'm going against the Colts this week. Sorry, but I think I'm going to go against the Colts this week. Chargers win away. And then the Steelers at the Eagles. The good old Steelers, I think they're going to get beat this week for the first time since their last playoff game against the Broncos. This is going to be the first loss since playing the Broncos in Denver last year in the playoffs. So I have the Eagles winning by about 6 for that game. Bears 0-2 at Cowboys. No, I'm going with the Bears. I think I can consider it an upset at this point because the Bears suck. I don't know why they're making that at 8:30 because it's not really worthy of being on at 8:30. Steelers are playing at 4:30 next week, which I'm a little surprised about. I'm surprised that since the Chargers are not at home, they're still going to be playing at 4:25, and that's their usual time when they play at home. Because you can't play at 10 in the morning. Come on. Out there out west, it's like 10 in the morning when they're playing, so unless they have to fly from the east side and they're used to it. So for those people in California, I'm used to it being 1, they're probably used to it being 10. So yeah, let's get on with our last pick here. Then you got the Saints and the Falcons. Saints have been struggling. Falcons got lucky last week. They both should be 0-2, but I'm going to give the Saints a win at home. Saints really need a win. Falcons, they got a fluke win last week in Oakland. So I'm going to wrap up these week 3 predictions right now. Literally, I am so late with these. I was supposed to make these like a day or 2 ago, but I didn't. So anyway, shame on me. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next time for another NFL prediction.